Every swipe feels like a choice. Every tap feels voluntary. But beneath the smooth animations and colorful icons lies an economic system where your attention is not simply captured. It is measured, predicted, optimized, and sold. Billions of people believe they open an app because they want to. The companies behind those apps spend billions ensuring they never want to leave. The question isn't whether technology changed human behavior. The real question is, who learned to engineer that behavior first? The smartphone didn't invent distraction. It industrialized it. Before mobile platforms became extensions of our hands, attention was fragmented across television, newspapers, radio, and desktop computers. Each medium competed for moments. Smartphones transformed those moments into an uninterrupted stream. Suddenly, every idle second became available for monetization. This shift created a new economic reality. Most users never pay directly for social platforms, short video apps, or search engines. Instead, they pay with something far more valuable than money. Every additional second spent inside an application creates another opportunity to display advertisements, collect behavioral signals, improve recommendation systems, or increase the probability of future purchases. Attention became the raw material fueling one of the largest industries in history. But attention alone wasn't enough. Companies needed something predictable. They needed habits. Habit formation has always fascinated psychologists. Humans naturally repeat behaviors associated with rewarding outcomes. The challenge for technology companies wasn't inventing this mechanism. It was scaling it. Instead of waiting for habits to emerge naturally, software designers began building environments specifically optimized to create them. One of the most influential principles came from variable rewards. Unlike predictable outcomes, uncertain rewards keep people engaged for longer. Slot machines became famous for exploiting this psychological pattern decades before smartphones existed. Every pull might produce nothing. Or everything. That uncertainty keeps anticipation alive. Digital platforms adapted the same principle without looking like casinos. Refresh the feed. Maybe there's something interesting. Maybe someone liked your post. Maybe a message arrived. Maybe there's breaking news. Most of the time, nothing extraordinary happens. But occasionally something rewarding appears. The brain begins associating refreshing with possibility instead of certainty. That possibility becomes difficult to resist. Dopamine is often misunderstood as the chemical of pleasure. Neuroscientists increasingly describe it as being deeply involved in motivation and reward prediction. It doesn't simply respond after receiving rewards. It also responds while anticipating them. In practical terms, uncertainty can become just as engaging as satisfaction itself. This insight transformed product design. Notifications evolved from simple alerts into carefully timed behavioral triggers. Red badges introduced urgency. Vibrations interrupted conversations. Sounds became conditioned signals. Each notification wasn't necessarily important. It only needed to create enough curiosity to reopen the application. Once inside, another system took over. Infinite scrolling fundamentally changed digital consumption. Older websites naturally ended. Users reached the bottom of pages, paused, and made conscious decisions about whether to continue. Infinite feeds quietly removed that stopping point. Without natural interruptions, one decision seamlessly blended into the next. Psychologists often describe how defaults shape human behavior. When stopping requires effort but continuing requires none, many people simply continue. Not because they consciously choose endless scrolling, but because the architecture quietly favors inertia. This wasn't accidental. Removing friction became a competitive advantage. Autoplay eliminated another decision. Recommendations eliminated searching. Personalized feeds eliminated randomness. Every eliminated decision reduced opportunities for users to leave. What appeared convenient also became strategically sticky. Convenience is rarely neutral in digital markets. Behind every recommendation sits an algorithm attempting to answer a remarkably profitable question. What is most likely to keep this specific person engaged for one more minute? Notice the wording. Not necessarily happier, not necessarily healthier, simply engaged. Because engagement correlates strongly with advertising opportunities, subscription retention, and platform growth. The remarkable part is that these algorithms don't require perfect understanding of human psychology. They learn from behavior itself. Every pause, every swipe, every replay, every abandoned video becomes another training signal. Millions of users collectively teach the system how to hold millions of users even longer. In other words, users continuously improve the machine, optimizing their own attention. That feedback loop became one of the most valuable competitive advantages in modern business. The more users an app attracts, the more behavioral data it collects. The more behavioral data it collects, the better its recommendations become. The better the recommendations become, the more users stay. The more users stay, the more advertisers invest. The additional revenue finances better engineering, stronger infrastructure, larger research teams, and even more sophisticated personalization. Growth begins reinforcing itself. This explains why newer competitors often struggle despite offering similar features. They aren't merely competing against software. They're competing against years of accumulated behavioral intelligence gathered from billions of interactions. At this point, if you're enjoying this investigation, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the Wealth Code Chronicles. Every documentary here explores the invisible systems shaping modern business, technology, and human decision-making. And there's far more beneath the surface than most people ever notice. The surface looks simple. People watch videos. People post photos. People chat with friends. Underneath, every interaction contributes to a constantly evolving prediction engine attempting to reduce uncertainty about future behavior. Prediction is the currency that quietly powers the attention economy. The better a platform predicts what you will do next, the more efficiently it can serve content, advertisements, and recommendations that maximize engagement. Prediction reduces wasted impressions, increases advertising performance, and strengthens user retention simultaneously. Few business models have ever benefited so dramatically from understanding human behavior at scale. Behavioral economists have long documented that humans rarely make perfectly rational decisions. We rely on shortcuts, emotional cues, social validation, and cognitive biases to navigate overwhelming amounts of information. Digital platforms didn't invent these tendencies. They built systems capable of responding to them in real time. Consider social proof. When millions of people like, share, or comment on something, others naturally perceive that content as more valuable or important. Visible engagement signals become psychological shortcuts. They reduce uncertainty while encouraging imitation. Algorithms amplify this cycle by promoting already successful content, creating feedback loops where popularity itself generates additional popularity. Scarcity plays a similar role. Stories disappear. Limited time offers expire. Trending topics change by the hour. The fear of missing out transforms ordinary content into urgent content. Users don't merely consume because something matters. They consume because they believe delaying might mean losing access altogether. Then comes personalization. Two people opening the same application rarely experience the same platform. Their feeds differ because their histories differ. Every click gradually constructs a behavioral profile. Not necessarily who they are, but who the algorithm predicts they will become over the next interaction. This creates an unusual relationship between users and software. Instead of broadcasting identical experiences to everyone, modern applications increasingly negotiate individually with each person. Every recommendation becomes a customized hypothesis. Every interaction either confirms or rejects that hypothesis. The system learns continuously. Importantly, this optimization doesn't always reflect long-term interests. An algorithm maximizing engagement today isn't inherently designed to maximize well-being tomorrow. Those objectives sometimes overlap. Sometimes they conflict. That distinction matters. Businesses generally optimize according to measurable outcomes. Time spent, daily active users, retention rates, advertising revenue, subscription renewals. These metrics appear inside executive dashboards because they can be quantified. Loneliness, distraction, regret, or emotional fatigue are considerably harder to measure, making them less likely to influence optimization unless they begin affecting the measurable metrics. This doesn't require malicious intent. Simply reflects incentives. If investors reward growth, executives prioritize growth. If advertisers reward engagement, products prioritize engagement. If markets reward retention, engineers search for methods that improve retention. The invisible architecture of digital products often mirrors the invisible architecture of financial incentives. This explains why features spread so quickly across the industry. When one company discovers that autoplay increases viewing time, competitors evaluate similar implementations. When recommendation systems improve retention, rivals invest heavily in machine learning. Innovation frequently follows measurable economic success rather than abstract philosophical ideals. Eventually, entire industries begin converging toward remarkably similar behavioral designs. What began as isolated experiments becomes standard practice. Roll, refresh, recommend, notify, repeat. None of these features alone explains compulsive usage. Together, however, they create environments where disengaging requires increasingly deliberate effort. Ironically, many of the engineers designing these systems also impose personal limits on their own technology use. Some disable notifications. Others schedule device-free hours or restrict social media access. This isn't necessarily hypocrisy. It reflects an understanding that systems optimized to capture attention affect everyone, including the people who build them. The broader lesson extends beyond smartphones. Wherever attention generates revenue, optimization follows. Streaming platforms, shopping websites, news applications, gaming ecosystems, artificial intelligence assistants. Every digital environment eventually faces the same commercial pressure. Maximize valuable engagement while minimizing abandonment. As machine learning models become increasingly sophisticated, future systems may predict not only what captures attention but also when attention is most vulnerable. Context, mood, location, routine, and timing could become additional variables inside personalization engines, making digital experiences feel even more intuitive and potentially even harder to resist. The debate, therefore, isn't simply about screen time. It's about incentives. Should technology maximize engagement whenever possible because markets reward it? Or should products deliberately sacrifice measurable growth to better protect users from their own behavioral vulnerabilities? That question has no easy answer because every stakeholder benefits differently. Users gain convenience, advertisers gain precision, companies gain revenue, investors gain returns. But the costs, when they emerge, are often distributed across society rather than concentrated inside quarterly earnings reports. Before deciding where responsibility truly belongs, consider one final question. If a product becomes exceptionally good at predicting and influencing your behavior, is it simply offering a better service? Or gradually participating in your decision-making itself? If you want to decode the systems behind these digital empires and build your own, check the first link in the description. The technologies will continue evolving, the interfaces will become more seamless, and the algorithms will grow more accurate, but the underlying incentive will remain remarkably familiar. Whoever understands human attention most effectively will continue shaping the digital economy. And if you believe you're completely immune to that system, are you absolutely certain you've been making every swipe entirely on your own?